Coach and Counselor explores how today's youth benefit from intentional, empowering adult leadership. Each episode blends perspectives from coaches, mentors, players, and mental health professionals shaping the next generation on and off the field. From tough conversations to inspiring transformations, we dive into what it takes to support young people in today's world. All right, welcome, Coach and Counselor. We have Tegan Seyring on this episode. Tegan has a long history in volleyball and the club world, high school phenom, Division I college space, and then even postgraduate as a player and also in player development. Tegan, welcome to the show.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited.
Absolutely. Quick little icebreaker. Tell everyone, something interesting, something new, something different about you that maybe some people don't know.
Oh, I think a lot of people know about this, but I just like to talk about it. I'm getting married.
Oh,
So
excellent.
yes, getting married in December, and he plays baseball. So just super excited for that. And yeah, I just can't stop talking about it, honestly.
What does that mean? What do I mean? He just plays baseball. Is he in college? Is he in high school? Like what does it mean that he just plays
No,
baseball?
yeah, I should probably elaborate.
Yeah.
He's in the minor leagues right now for the Yankees, so he's on their AA team in Somerset, New Jersey.
Excellent. And have you had a chance to go out there and see him play out there yet?
Yes, not exactly in Somerset, but I've been to like Akron, Ohio. I've been to Altoona, PA, which if you ever get the chance to go there, probably don't go. Like the town is so small, but no, it was fun to be able to go see him play and yeah, just be there to support him. I'll be going in August though, so I'm excited.
Excellent. Funny side note. I ran a business years ago and I had a box truck and I had to sell my box truck after I got out of the business.
Yeah.
And I sold it to a guy named Al who lived in Altoona. So,
No,
so, so from that moment on, my truck was sold to Al from Altoona.
I love that. That's a great story.
He took it all over the Northeast and living down in Florida, and I think he put an additional 150 plus thousand miles on it.
Yeah, oh
I
my
think
gosh.
it still lives today.
I hope so. Fingers crossed.
All right, let's dig into volleyball. I'm definitely interested in getting into this. Let's first kind of take us all back to the youth playing days, and what the club circuit of volleyball actually looks like. Tell us all about your experience in the club world.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the club world from when I played to now is different, but from when I was playing, we had like our school league and our high school was pretty good. So I loved being able to kind of play under her while I was in middle school, her as in our head varsity coach. She kind of ran all of that, which is awesome. So because then you're learning what you're going to be doing in high school, which I think was super important. So I played for her from about 5th to 8th grade, and then I hit the club scene. And I played for a club called Montana. So they are really good, super fun to play for, just that gritty blue collar type of club. Um, and yeah, so played for Montana, and it was good too because they teach the same things that Yorktown does, which Yorktown was my school. So being able to play for two different programs that teach the same thing while developing my game, I think was really big because yeah, I was learning the same thing all year round. And I think again, both my high school and my club teams were pretty good. So I think that being able to work together was big.
So how frequently do you play in the club world, and then how often do you travel, which is the
Ooh,
big, no, the
we
biggest, that's
yeah.
the biggest change over the last so many years.
Yeah, I'll take you through kind of all of it. So we can start at practice. So you would have practice for high school and club sometimes within the same day. Like you would have lift for high school and then you would turn around and go to club in the evening. But also for club, we had a little hour right after school where you would focus on each skill individually. So you would come in on Mondays for like conditioning and serving. You'd come in on Tuesdays for passing. You would come in on Wednesdays for hitting, Thursday for setting. So everyone knew all the skill sets. So you would literally get out of school after just having lifted for your high school team, go to club, practice for an hour, sit there for another 2 and wait on your another 2-hour practice that same evening. So practices were pretty rigid, you know what I mean? But I
Yeah.
liked it. I liked having a schedule. And then travel was pretty crazy. I mean, you would be missing school. It kind of reminds me of college in a way because you would literally leave Thursday or Friday. You would be gone all weekend, and sometimes you'd even be gone that next Monday, and we'd be traveling to Utah, Florida, California, Kentucky, just everywhere. But also, I mean, travel club is where you get seen, and that's sometimes a really big deal for recruitment, and that's where all those coaches are. So it's like your club is wanting to send you to those tournaments to be seen and to get recruited if that's what you're wanting to do. So, I mean, you travel a lot.
Yeah.
I was rarely home, honestly. We had maybe 2 home tournaments, but I mean, like, even before we would start playing, like, we would take a trip up to Canada and, like, practice with their teams as well. So it was a lot, and I loved it. I would not take it back for anything, and I got to see a lot of cool stuff too. So, yeah, travel was crazy.
Right. Yeah. Incredible experiences there, I'm sure, and great visibility.
Yeah.
We'll get into the recruiting part of things here in a second. But give me a ballpark. How many times did you actually travel, and how many games do you think you actually played?
Um, I don't even know if I could put a number on it. Like, your season start, like, club season is from end of January, beginning of February to the end of June. And again, you have a tournament literally almost every weekend. Like, you would miss prom, you would miss everything your senior year sometimes. Um, I can't even put a number on that. Honestly, I'm so sorry. For games is kind of crazy too because you're playing about 4 games a day. If you had like a consolation match, you'd sometimes play 5. But I mean, sometimes if you're just the AM wave, you'd play 3, and then if that's like pool play. But yeah, those first few days are pretty tough because you're just in the gym literally all day. I remember I would get there at like 7 a.m. and then you would play that morning wave, and then again, if you had a consolation match, then you'd have to wait for another match to get over to then play that team, and then you're there till 4 or 5. So yeah, those are some very long days, but again, just so worth it for the visibility and just the memories and being able to play. I
Absolutely.
don't know if that really answered your question, but to put a
Yeah.
number hard.
You play a
Yeah,
lot, right? You play a
a
lot, so
lot,
that's yeah,
yeah,
which is
a
good.
lot.
But it also sounds like you guys practice a lot, which is I think
Yes.
great. In a lot of different club sports, I think the playing of the game has exceeded the amount of practice time
Yeah,
and practice days. So it's at least it sounds like you guys are from a skill development standpoint getting a lot of that, which is fantastic. Um,
absolutely.
well, our sponsor, as you can see behind me in the shirt that I'm wearing, is Operation Player Assist. So let's get into the cost of, yeah, I love that. I love that. Let's talk about the expense of playing club volleyball. I mean, if
Yeah.
there's that much travel, and probably that much, you're paying for referees, you're paying for coaches, you're paying for, the physical space to be in. What is an annual cost, ballpark for playing volleyball?
Yeah, absolutely. I think for the fees itself for Montana, I think it was around 5,000. Um, but I mean, yeah, I mean, you're going to tournaments and they're like 130 courts in these convention centers. Like, it's not for the weak. So I mean, being able to pay for that stuff is big. But apart from that 5,000, you also had your airfare, your hotel, like you're eating out, you have gas. So
Yeah.
I like to factor all that in because I mean, you got to pay for it because you're playing. So I don't even know how much that would add. I would have to ask my mom.
You probably don't want to
Probably.
ask your mom.
No, I don't. I do not want to have that combo.
She's gonna give you an
Luckily,
invoice.
literally, hopefully I got it on the back end with being able to play in college. But yeah, I mean, if I played for 4 years, it was about $5,000 a year just to play. Like, definitely adds up. So
Yeah, which is what a lot of people don't factor in the other
yeah,
ancillary expenses, which is, as you said, the flights, all the travel expenses, the flights, the hotels, the
yeah.
food, everything else. So yeah, it definitely adds up. Well, that's interesting. And then sounds like your high school team was pretty incredible. I think I saw something where you guys were literally undefeated, right?
Yes, we were undefeated and actually ranked second in the nation my senior year. So I think we've kind of talked about this, like you win a volleyball game, the best 3 out of 5 sets We dropped one set my senior year, which is like unheard of. And that was in our state championship game, and we just won in 4. But I mean, I was lucky. I got to play with some really great players like Kinsey Knuckles. She went to Nebraska. Kylie Murray, she went to Ohio State. Kate Vincent, Ball State. Ellie Stinson, Northwestern. Like, I went to Austin P. Like, I mean, that's just
5-6 Division
kind of
One
what you
athletes right there.
do. Yeah, that's like literally kind of what you did. Like, our setter, her name is Bella Rosenthal. She was a setter for us, but then went to Auburn and was a libero. So it's like she was even able to go for different positions because I mean, volleyball's just what you do around here. We're surrounded by cornfields. So there's not much else to do. So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
like I said, I was super lucky. My coaches were great, and I just think everybody gelled really well and worked hard. So it was fun. My senior year was probably the most fun I had because again, everyone was just so good and we all enjoyed one another and we won. So,
And how many state titles did you win in your high school career?
uh, one because I don't know how all states do this, but we have the factor where if you win so many times, then you have to move up. So we were 3A, the highest class for volleyball is 4A. So my sophomore year, I can't remember if we won or not. But my junior year, I'm so sorry. My junior year, we moved up to 4A. So we were in the highest class as a 3A team. So we made it to semi-state and lost that year. And then, like I said, we came back and we were in the highest class playing and won state. So yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. So at some point in all that club travel space, those 4 years there, the high school's time, you were got at least one offer to go play Division One volleyball
Yeah.
at Austin P, right?
Yeah.
So tell us where that happened, how that happened, and why you chose Austin P.
Yeah, it was crazy. We were doing a team camp actually. Munciana, my club, will put on team camps for the high school. So our high school team was at Munciana doing that team camp, and college coaches will come in and kind of be your coach on that court. And Austin P just so happened to be on my court, and a girl from my high school was already at Austin P. So they saw me, they liked me. Her name was Mimi Arrington. They talked to Mimi, and Mimi was like, "Yeah, she's great." So kind of went down, had a visit, chatted with them for a little bit, and it just felt like home. So committed there.
Excellent. And so you're young, but this is probably still a little bit before your time of the whole NIL deal craziness. Was anything
Yes.
like that offered to you at the time? And if yes or no, and then how has the whole NIL landscape changed volleyball in particular?
Yeah, no, that was not offered to me. I wish I could go back and be like, guys, this is coming. Like, offer people money. I mean, obviously so illegal. But yeah, it has changed so much now because I think even looking back, because I committed like the tail end of my sophomore year, beginning of my junior year. And then I was just like, I just want to go to school. Like, I just want to play. And now these girls are having to factor in, yeah, I want to play, but also how can I set myself up for success with the money that they're offering? You know what I mean? Now it's become more of like okay, they're offering me $20,000, but I feel at home at this school who's offering me less or more. You know what I mean? That's just a whole nother ball game, a whole nother factor that these girls have to do now. And I almost feel kind of bad because now it's like, yes, they sometimes, you just want to play and you want to go for the culture and not have to factor in that, but just kind of is what it is now. I was working out the other day at the gym and I ran into one of my old coaches and he told me like girls are getting offered $25,000 just to leave club early, like leave their second semester of senior year to go train at some
Wow.
of these colleges. So it is a whole different ballgame now, and I mean, working at West Virginia for that year and a half, I learned a lot about that too, about NIL and that rev share and how important that's gonna be factoring into recruiting some of these kids because, I mean, you're working up against some big numbers now, so
Yeah, how big
yeah.
are those numbers in volleyball?
Yeah, I'll give you another example. I was talking to that same coach, and he was telling me there was a girl from our club, and she was transferring, and there was a Big Ten school, and there's an SEC school, and I mean, the SEC school called in and was like, "What am I working up against with this Big Ten school?" And they're like, they're going to offer her $350,000 to transfer. I know,
Wow.
crazy. And
Wow.
the SEC school was like, oh, that's wild. You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. We were thinking like 30,000, and it's tough because it's like, I feel like sometimes you're thinking like, oh, like that's the number you're putting on the kid, but like sometimes that's just all the money that you have to offer. Like some of those Big Ten schools and even some of those SEC schools, like they're just bigger. They bring in more revenue. I mean, looking at some of their football teams, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just kind of tough because now it's like sometimes like you don't want to put a number on a kid, but sometimes that's all you have to offer. So that, I mean, that is the type of money that is being thrown around right now. And I mean, that's for one
Wow.
player,
Yeah. Three
literally
hundred
one
and
player.
fifty thousand dollars. That's unbelievable.
It's
Those
like
are
life-changing money when you're 20.
absolutely.
Are you kidding?
And why wouldn't you take that, right? That's,
Yeah,
especially the difficulty in women's
yeah,
sports of getting professional contracts that are legitimately making money. It's really hard to do. So your
absolutely.
the
Yeah,
real money is in, currently in the NILs, and then you know, uh, the deals that you're making outside of that
yeah,
particular sport, with Nike or whoever it might be. Well,
absolutely.
that's unbelievable. Let's finish up your kind of playing career. So you inevitably left Austin P. What happened there? Why did that happen? Where did you go?
Yeah, so for Austin P, I just graduated with my undergrad. Had a few little injuries, and they were like, "We love you, but we don't know if you're gonna last one more year." And I was like, "That's fair. That's super fair." So yeah, I transferred to Arkansas State under Brian Gerwig. Loved him. He was amazing, and they kept me healthy, and I was able to play for my grad year and wrapped up my master's in business administration. So I played that fall and again loved Arkansas State. They actually helped me to excel my master's program and I got it done in a year. Um, and then I was kind of just staring down the barrel of life and I was like, I don't have a job lined up. I just went to school and worked my tail off for 5 years and kind of what's next, which I think some athletes run into. Like, okay, like the game's over, now what? So
Yeah, let's
I was
pause. If you don't mind, let's pause on that a little bit, because I
yeah,
think that's
yeah,
that's something that's probably not discussed enough. I just had a podcast with an ex-professional baseball player, and he talked a lot about the baseball afterlife.
yeah.
I've actually had this conversation with my daughter about the softball afterlife. So tell us about kind of all those, the roller coaster of mental emotions, the emotions that were going through you of, all right, my career's over. Now what?
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, it ended and it was like it didn't even feel real. 'Cause you know what I mean? When you're an athlete, like your schedule's made for you, even like your nutrition is done for you, like everything is kind of just done for you. So having to turn around and be like, to make my own food? You know what I mean? I have to plan dinner. Like that's kind of crazy. So, so yeah, I mean, I think just like having to do my own schedule and like, okay, like what am I gonna do to fill my time now? Like that's all I did, you know what I mean? Between treatment and scouting and then practice, like that takes up the big chunk of your day and then you're just exhausted. So I think finding new hobbies, I think was big and like still having that motivation to work out and like having the motivation to be like, okay, now I legit have to look into nutrition because I'm not just having someone hand it to me. Um, yeah, I just think a lot of that was some up and downs because I mean, on the other hand, you're like, wow, I have so much free time, I can do nothing. Like I've
Yeah.
never just been able to do nothing. So I think it was a little hard for me to kind of find that balance, but yeah, I think once you get into it, and especially if you want to stay within sports, I mean, like you'll always be busy. Sports will always be around. And that's kind of when I started calling around and I was like, I want to stay in college volleyball. That was my next step. So I think once you find your next step and kind of what you want to do, or again, like a hobby that you like, and you can kind of put your all into that. Cause I think athletes too, you go from giving 100% to again, just having nothing to pour that energy and effort into. And you're like, "Oh my gosh, what am I gonna do?" So,
Right.
yeah, I don't really know if that answered your question, but I
No,
just think
I
being
think
able to yeah,
yeah, it definitely does. I mean, inevitably you're just saying, hey, like, I had this passion that I gave my heart and soul to 8+ hours a day, every single day for years and years and years. And then you wake up one day and all that's gone. And
Gone.
then where you get smacked in the face is just like, what's next? And yeah, I definitely think you answered the question of just find that next passion. What is it that I
Mhm.
could have that same or similar, probably not the same, but a similar level of waking
Yeah.
up every day to say, yes, I want to do this. Yes, I'm looking forward to doing this. Yes, I'm looking forward to setting my own, now planning my own schedule out of do this and then this and then this and
Yeah.
prioritizing your day. And it sounds like you have that a little bit with a new profession and planning for a marriage. I think is going to take up a lot of your time.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, I want to dig into West Virginia, which I know is next in your timeline, but you kind of talked about the ups and downs. So let's take a second here to talk about, times in your playing career where, everyone always talks about all the great things that happen, right? The awards, the
Yeah.
accolades, the things that hang on the wall, but sports is just not all about the great times. So when were some times that were really difficult for you, that you were sad, that you maybe had some issues to overcome, physically, mentally, or all the above. Tell us a little bit about those.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say that one part that I could pinpoint was probably my junior year. There was just some personal stuff going on, like my grandpa passed, and then, when something like that happens, it just kind of snowballs, and you're like, okay, well, now I'm kind of dipping in my classes, and like people say, like, hey, don't bring outside stuff onto the court, but that's hard. Like, that's, you know what I mean? Like, that's a hard thing
Yeah.
to do sometimes. So I think just within that time, like, volleyball wasn't going great, didn't feel super motivated, kind of just going through the motions. And then I was like, I need to fix this. Like, I need some sort of help. So I started going to my sports psychologist. Her name was Teresa. She was great. And I loved her because I just think sometimes even if volleyball's not going how you think, or again, like a something personal happens and that's affecting you on the court, just having that outlet and maybe even a third person that you can go to and either vent to or just ask advice for, because I mean, I loved my coaches, I loved my teammates, but they're in the grind with me all the time. So being able to have that outlet and being able to just kind of let it all out, knowing that it's confidential, you know what I mean? Like, however I'm feeling, or, okay, here's a mental block for me right now, like, I don't know how to get over it. I think it's better for me to talk to a third person because, again, like, my best friend Erin, she was great, but it's like she's there with me all the time. Like, it was nice having someone who just can see a little more from the outside in and being able to give advice and just yeah, I loved going to her. She was awesome.
That's great, and it's
Mhm.
awesome that there's those resources now where
Yeah.
there hasn't been in the past. So yeah, it was a great outlet for you. Let alone obviously that's her profession, and so
Yeah.
she has great techniques to help you through some of these things. Was there anything that you took specifically that you can kind of you latched onto, you can relate to, that you can pass along to others?
Yeah, it's this one's kinda random, but it's like when you're feeling that mental block, have something that helps you reset, whether that's there's a thing called, like, box breathing. I think actually men in the military do it to kinda just, like, help them calm down, but it's like you breathe in for 3 seconds, hold for 3, out for 3, hold for 3, and I think just having that reset if I started to feel anxious or, like I said, that mental block coming up, I could just kinda reset, and I would have never done that if I would have never gone to her. I've never heard of box breathing.
Right.
So yeah, like I said, that was good, and I mean, that happened my junior year, and I took it all throughout my grad year, and even sometimes now if I'm feeling a little overwhelmed or just feeling a little anxious, I just kind of pause and I do that, and then I feel a little more back to ground zero, and I can focus on either the game or whatever else I'm working on. So yeah.
Excellent. So you use that technique throughout your career, but did you ever go back and see any other counselor or sports psychologist throughout your collegiate career?
Yeah, I would say I did not, but I do think I had a really good connection with Teresa, and I think we were able to just overcome a lot of that. So I think I got lucky because sometimes you just don't gel with people, and that's totally okay. Like there are other counselors on campus, and like there are more than one sports psych people. Wait, did I say that right? There's normally more than one sports psychologist for like your teams or athletic department as a whole. So I think again, I just got lucky and I gelled with her like right off the bat. So we were able to work on my stuff. And I mean, once I know if something works, I stick with it. So I was able to just kind of be good and coast through and use what we had talked about. But I know some people who they go back every year, and that's again, that's their outlet. That's their reset, is going to their sports psych for that week. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So yeah, whatever works for anybody. There's no stigma anymore. I'm
that's
like, it
right.
helps.
Finally, that's great.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so take us through the last portion of your volleyball career, which was as a director of player development at West Virginia.
Yeah. Yes. So, like I said, staring down the barrel of life, I was like, what in the world am I going to do? So, I just started getting on my computer and applying for jobs. I was applying for anything, assistant coaches, grad assistants, whatever. And yeah, just had some really good connections. Got in touch with Mike Becker, who he had coached at Pitt, and then he went to Iowa, and then he ended up at West Virginia. So got connected with him, and then Jen Greeny, who is recently at Washington State, had an amazing career, and then came to West Virginia as that head coach. Hopped on the phone with her, and she liked me, flew me out for an interview, and I was actually, this is crazy, I was driving back to Pittsburgh Airport after having had that interview, and she calls me, and I'm freaking out. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, she didn't like me." Like, she's calling to tell me, like, "Hey, sorry, that was horrible. Like, we are not hiring you." So I let it ring, and I call my mom, and I'm like, "Mom, I'm so scared." She's like, "You have to call her back. What are you doing on the phone with me?" Um, but yeah, I called her back. I remember I was sitting in like the A terminal Southwest flight. Like I had 30 minutes until boarding, just palm sweaty. And she was like, "Hey, we really liked you. Do you want the job? Can you move out next week?" And I was
Wow.
like, "That's not what I thought this call was going to be." So I obviously accepted, near tears. I was just so excited. And yeah, I moved from Arkansas to West Virginia within a week and just started up being their director of operations, and I had a great time. I really enjoyed it. There was definitely a lot of new. I had never booked travel for 25 people. I had never had to pre-order and go sit at a restaurant for like I had never had to make those reservations for 25 people. I was dealing with equipment and sometimes helping with scout, just all of the stuff. So I definitely dove in head first, and I love that staff. So it was a good time.
Yeah, you went from having everything done for you forever to now doing it
Yes.
for everyone else, which is
Exactly.
which
Mhm.
what might but have been, just fantastic training for your next stage in life, right? Is
Yes,
what better way than to get on the job training like that?
honestly.
Maybe
Yes.
we should have everyone be part of that.
Dude, it's harder than you think. Like, that is a full-time job. I kept telling people, I was like, I feel like I'm babysitting 15 girls. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you are just constantly having to be like, what do you want to eat? What do you want to eat? You have to fill this form out. Come on, guys. Equipment. You know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
just, like I said, I loved it because I wouldn't have gotten that experience anywhere else or doing any other job. So, yeah, I really enjoyed it and I was able to learn a lot.
Excellent. So now kind of just like overarching throughout your career there, what's, some of the best advice that you've ever received from a coach?
I would say, I don't know, I feel like this is like the cliche, but it's just like, it's not that deep. And I think as an athlete, kind of like we talked, like you work day in, day out, you're giving your all. So when you have a bad game, you're like, oh my gosh, like what is going on? This is what I worked so hard for. And just, you can kind of get in that mindset of being negative because, again, that's kind of your identity. But it's hard because you can't truly put your identity in it because it's so up and down. Like, that's the beauty of sports. You know what I mean? Like, there's a grind and there's also a time you're gonna shine. So I think just in those times when you're down and when you're in that grind and you're just kind of putting your head down and coming in every day and working hard, I think keeping in mind like your identity isn't totally in your sport. I think that's kind of when I was able to play a little more free and let go a little more and enjoy it instead of being like, I have to be perfect. Like I have to hit the shot. I've been working on it for the past 3 weeks. Like it needs to land. So I think that's my advice. Again, I know that's the advice everyone's giving, but that really helped me and kind of again, learned that from my sports psychologist, like, you're more than your sport. And so just being able to take that and run with that on the days that I wasn't doing well really helped me.
And it undoubtedly will help you in that afterlife of volleyball, as we
Yes.
discussed earlier. If it truly defines you, then it's going to be very difficult for you to transition when you're done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I agree.
All right. So obviously, we talked about getting married in December. You come from a big family, if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah, I do.
And and do you want a big family as well?
I do. I want 4 kids.
Okay. All right.
Got it all planned out.
And professional athlete, husband, Division
Mhm.
One volleyball stud. Chances of having some athletic kids are probably pretty good. So
Oh, we hope. Yes.
fat
That
fat
is the hope.
fast forwarding, let's just say 10, 15 years from now. It's hard to look ahead that far. But
Mhm.
how do you see raising your son or daughter in sports? Like, what would be your approach, knowing everything that you know now?
Yeah, I would say I'd probably do what I did when I was younger. My mom kinda let us try everything. Like, if I was interested in horseback riding, I did horseback riding. If I was interested in cheerleading, I did cheerleading. Obviously, volleyball, I stuck with volleyball. Um, and Garrett, my fiancé, like, he did a lot too, even up until his senior year. He was doing track, basketball, baseball. He did football up until his sophomore year of high school, I think. But I just think it's super important for burnout. Like, that is so prevalent now, especially with how hard and I mean, travel balls all the time now, even for like 11-year-olds. You know what I mean? So just being able to give those kids the freedom and my kids the freedom to be able to choose, like, how do you know what sport you want to do at 11? You
Right.
know?
Right.
So kind of just being able to give them the chance to do what they want to do and finding what they like. And again, just hopefully not getting that burnout like a lot of kids are doing.
And so the whole specialization thing is just a massive topic right now.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's not something that you believe in from the way that you just responded. But is there a time in your career that you felt like, hey, I really needed to focus all of my attention, if not most of my attention, to volleyball? And so, um, specialization as a generalized term doesn't really work, right? Because I do feel like there has to come a time where you dedicate it to your craft. When is
Yeah.
that? When do you think that is? At least for volleyball specifically.
Yeah, I would say so my path was a smidge different. I was one of 5. So my mom finally was like, "Girl, you gotta pick. Like, all of this is so expensive. My time is just maxed out. Like, there are literally no more hours in the day to take you all to all of your events." So I started specializing for volleyball when I was 13. Um, which I will say I don't think that was a bad time because I mean, apart from her saying I needed to pick, I kinda knew I knew what I wanted to do. Um, I wouldn't have minded to not specialize until about 15, I feel like, because then you're really hitting the club scene. A lot of coaches are really looking at you, and for volleyball, you can't get talked to until you're a freshman. So, I don't know, I think it definitely differs for every kid. Because again, Garrett didn't specialize, like, ever, but he's also just a freak athlete, and that's awesome for him, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
some kids are just different, so, um, I would say around that 14, 15 age, but again, like, every kid is different. Like, for me, I think it was good that I specialized in volleyball, and I kinda took all my time and put all that energy and effort into that craft, but some people don't have to. You know what I mean? Some people just naturally have that gift, and yeah.
You talked a couple times about the role that your mom has played in your playing career and in your life.
Yeah.
Tell us about the role your family and it's a big family. So what's the role that they've all
Yes.
all played in shaping who you are today and the success that you've had in your career?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we talked about travel and how much you have to travel, and my mom and my grandma went on every trip with me. So we were able to spend a lot of time together in the car or the plane or wherever. And I just think it was important to build that bond because I just knew they were going to support me no matter what. And I think My mom also helped a lot too with making trying to make sure that my identity wasn't wrapped up in volleyball because let's say I had a bad game, she'd be like, "I came to watch you. I didn't I didn't come to watch you hit 450." You know what I mean? Like, I didn't come with that expectation of you're gonna blow my socks off every game. Like, I'm here to support you, I'm here to watch you, and I just think my mom and my grandma, and then obviously my siblings, they would come to everything, and they kinda sacrificed their time to be able to let me do what I wanted to do. You know what I mean? So, forever grateful for them, I love them so much, and I just think, yeah, I'm so lucky to have them.
What a simple but great way to kind of tie that up, right? It's just like, hey, I
Yeah.
I came here to see you, not you succeed at this or succeed at this or to do
Yeah.
this or run here or jump here. Just like, hey, I just came here to see you and enjoy everything that you're going through. And so kind
Yeah.
of a very simple approach. I might have to use that in the future.
I think you should, cause even, like, I was injured and she came and I was like, "Why are you here?" And she's like, "I came to see you. I don't come to see you play like, I want to see you." You know what I mean? When you're
Yeah.
away in college and you don't get to see your kid a lot and just yeah, it sucks. I was on the bench injured, but she was like, "You're what matters to me, not you physically playing volleyball. It's you."
Yeah.
So, I
Yeah.
think that was important.
Mom pretty much said it without saying it, right? Is like, I'm not here to
Yeah.
see Tegan the volleyball player or the
Yeah.
volleyball player. I'm here to see Tegan.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
absolutely.
cool. Like I said, very cool, simple approach there. Well, I only have a couple more questions because I know we're starting to run out of time.
'Kay.
Um, tell me, tell me a little bit about, what some of the myths of volleyball are. Like some,
Myths of
yeah.
volleyball.
What is it? Well, maybe we first start with the differences between, sand volleyball and court volleyball,
Oh,
right?
yes, everyone thinks they're similar. They are not
Yeah.
similar, you guys. These are 2 different sports. I don't think I've mentioned it yet on the podcast, but I played indoor and beach volleyball in college. So and I will say I hadn't played beach until college. And so my freshman year, that was pretty hard for me because I mean, I'll admit it, I was one of those people who was like, "How hard can it be?" Like, kind of the same sport, and then you get into the thick of it and you're like, "Holy cow, 2 people are covering this whole court." There's wind involved, there's rain involved, like, there's so many other elements that you don't think of, like, the passing is different, the setting is different, the rules are different. You actually can't be coached while you're playing beach volleyball. They can't say anything to you. So, that was another big thing too, yeah, definitely not 2 sports, I can attest, personal experience, but yeah, that is one myth that I would love to bust because that is just not even remotely true.
Anything else about volleyball that you think is, maybe misconstrued?
Um, I don't know. I always think it's funny because I always saw on the internet, like people are like, this is just a really tough game of like, don't let the ball touch the floor. And that's exactly what it is. Like, you are literally giving all you got for a ball not to touch the floor. So, I mean, I haven't heard a lot of myths that I don't agree with besides the beach and indoor one. But I always thought that that was funny because when you just see big picture, you're like, yeah, it is literally 6 people just trying to get a ball to hit the floor.
Okay, cool.
But it's so hard. So, yeah.
All right, I promise two last questions, and I'll ask
Okay.
them. I'll ask them both, and then you can go from there.
Okay.
Leave us with two tidbits here. One being what's the most memorable, like best experience you've ever had, and then as a parting thought here, what advice would you give, that up and coming, the girl coming into volleyball that speak to the 12-year-old. So
Yeah, absolutely.
so let's
I
go.
would
Go
oh,
ahead.
sorry. You go ahead.
No,
Sorry.
no. Most memorable experience first.
Okay, I would say my most memorable was my sophomore year of beach volleyball because again, I was brand new to the sport my freshman year. And my partner was Kelsey Mead, and we actually won our conference championship, and we were one of like the teams selected for like the all tournament team. And I was like, how did I just go from just starting last year to like all tournament? You know what I mean? I thought that was pretty crazy, and that was fun for me because I got to see all that hard work pay off. And yeah, Kelsey was a great partner. So I just think that was a really fun season because I like to win, and we won, and yeah.
All right, I got one more thing, one more
Okay.
ask before the last one, because I think this isn't discussed enough. Like you've talked a lot about these amazing teammates that you've had over the course of
Yeah,
time, and I know you're planning for a wedding. I don't know if you have this answer, but do you know who your bridesmaids are going to be yet?
I do.
How many of them did you play volleyball with?
Okay. I do want to say that we have big families, so siblings are taking precedent.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
So one,
Sorry to put
but
you
a
on the
lot
spot.
of them, no, no, no. I love that question. But yes, siblings have taken precedent, but they are invited to the wedding. So
Pretty much all of them, right? Yeah.
yeah,
That's
yes,
which is one of the coolest parts about playing sports is some of the deep relationships
yeah.
that you have for the rest of your life. All right. What final question, I promise.
My
What's
tidbit.
what's the advice? Yeah. What's the speak to that 12-year-old girl rising up in the club world right now?
Yeah, I would just say like one day at a time and work as hard as you can. I think there are some days I look back and I'm like, "Ugh, I went through the motions on that," or like I was like, again, kind of like we talked, like maybe some personal stuff affect me on the court, and you're never gonna get that time back. You're never gonna be able to compete, or like your body might not be the same. I got injured, and I think I took for granted when I was really healthy and I could do everything. You know what I mean? So I just think one day at a time, being grateful for the experience that you get and put your all into it because it's going to come to an end at some point. So that is my advice.
Well, I appreciate that, and I appreciate all the time. You have any other final parting thoughts?
I think I'm good. I'm glad we made it to this podcast. I was a little nervous, so I think this went smooth.
No, I think you did great. Thank you again for everything, Tegan, and great career. And we look forward to everything that you're going to continue to accomplish in your life. Good luck with planning for that wedding, and hopefully we'll have you back at some point here in the future talking about your kids and their playing careers.
Yes. Yes. Thank you so much, Tony, for having me.
Absolutely. Take care.
Take care.